What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Mr. Freeze. And so I'm on the fence about this one. So, one, I think Mr. Freeze is a really sweet figure. And I think they did really great with the paint details so far. But the paint application definitely needs some work. So I kind of got this as a project because it just looks too plain to me. But here, let's check it out real quick in the box. So I do love the face sculpt. I think they did a great job on the face sculpt. Looks really nice. Looks like we have different tones here. We have like a white, and then we have like a bluish type white, right? So it's just different variations, which I think is going to look really good when we do customizations. Just having two different base colors. So like I said, a black wash on here is going to look really good. Cool looking hoses there. Nice little belt. Looking good, good boots. So good textures, details per usual from McFarlane. Comes with a gun there. We have a card in the back. This looks really good. So here we go. Here's side of the package. So Mr. Freeze. We have the back of the package. So Mr. Freeze, and this is from Victor Freeze. It looks like fries. That's cool. So then we have a different shot. So obviously this isn't the artwork from the action figure itself, but it does look pretty cool. So I think that would make a really good action figure if they decide to do that. But cool artwork. And then Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's open this up and see what we're looking at. Okay, here is Mr. Freeze out of the package. And this figure is so much better in person. It's hard to explain. Like, me seeing the pictures on the internet, I thought, you know what, this figure is very poorly done, in my opinion, besides like the head sculpt and the things I noticed. However, when you get it out and you start actually posing it and playing with it, like, you really get to see, it just feels like a good figure. It's hard to say. It's pretty sturdy. It's got really good textures, really good details. It's just the paint applications that's lacking, which, in my opinion, could be a really simple fix. And I'll make sure I customize this and show you all on the channel. But here we go. Let's take a close look real quick. So one, right, we have the head. Looks really, really good. I actually really am a huge fan of the head sculpt. They did such a good job. I love the tones, etc. So good. Now you have the armor, right? So it's kind of like a glossy, whitish cream tone. It's hard to explain. Which is okay. Like I said, could definitely benefit from a black wash just to show off those details. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush a little silver on it too to make it look more like metal, which I think would look really cool because I just think that look better. And then you have the secondary tone of white, which is more like an eggshell white, which you can see the best. Here we go. Right when it comes around there. There you go. They kind of like that eggshell color. But yeah, overall, like, that's all that's missing is some silver highlights, some black wash, and then some, I think dry brush. Like I said, dry brushing silver on there will make it look more like armor, which I think will look really cool. So I'm excited to see how that turns out after I customize it. But definitely, in my opinion, you don't have to customize it, but I think you could definitely benefit from it pretty simply too. Even just a black wash I think would look good. But okay, cool. So it came with also a character card. So with really cool artwork. Then here's the back of the card. So if you would like to read it, you can pause your screen now. Okay, perfect. And then came with the normal display stand, so nothing special. Okay, cool. So let's get into the articulation. Okay, so here we go. So first, articulation on the head. So you can pop this off. You can see there you got a little spot there that goes. You can rotate side to side. Looks up pretty far. Looks down very far. You can kind of hide his face in there, which is fun. Pretty good rotation. So you can get him in whatever pose you want. If you want him to look sideways, up, whatever. Then you just put this on, and there you go. And it looks like if it doesn't quite work, it'll move his head back to where it goes. So you can get arms up, shoulders about 90 degrees, which is nice. So the armor just kind of, it's glued down here, so it goes up and over, which is nice. You do have bicep swivel. You do have double jointed elbows, which is nice. You do have wrist articulation. The diaphragm joint does crunch actually pretty far forward, which I'm a big fan of. Crunches back very far. And you do have really good rotation. For all the armor, very good articulation on the ab. So legs can go not quite 90 degrees. You can go out in the splits very far, almost all the way. You got a little rotation side to side. You have double jointed knees, which are always nice. And then you have toe articulation and some ankle articulation. Now the only thing is because of the boots, you can get the articulation well, that one's kind of tricky. You get the articulation actually not very far down or up. You got basically one click. That's kind of all you got, which is kind of unfortunate, but overall, the articulation is fine. So I think the arms are good, the abdomen's good, legs seem to be okay. The ankle articulation is the only thing that's kind of a bummer, but overall, pretty sweet. Okay, and here we go. We got Mr. Freeze here in the middle. Right next to him, we have a NECA Predator. So you can see what it looks like next to the Predator line from NECA. We have a Marvel Select Super Scroll on the left, so you can get an idea of the height between those different brands. And then on the far right, we have Batman from McFarlane Toys as well. So here we go. So we have Mr. Freeze stands about 7 1/4 with helmet and about 7 without the helmet. And then it looks like we have 18.5 centimeters with helmet and 18 without helmet. So pretty good there. You can tell it stands quite a bit shorter than your NECA Predator, which it should as far as the scale goes. So the Predator stands, looks like Mr. Freeze goes up to about halfway up its face, maybe around the jaw area. You have the Marvel Select figure, which stands, this Super Scroll stands 7 inches exactly, which makes it also about 18 centimeters. So you can tell they stand about roughly the same height if you don't include the helmet. So it fits in well with Marvel Select as well. And then it looks like it stands a little bit shorter than Batman. Batman looks like he's about 7 1/4 inches tall. So Batman stands a little bit taller. So this is the first Mr. Freeze figure that we've gotten. And I think the scale fits pretty good with everything else. Okay, final thoughts on Mr. Freeze. And yeah, I think it's a decent figure. I think it definitely has opportunities around the paint application. You know, I've said that quite a few times throughout this video. I think it could definitely benefit from that. However, there are really good details, good textures, and the articulation for being an armored figure like this is actually pretty good. And the head sculpt is definitely the win out of this. The head sculpt they nailed. So I think even with just a little bit of black wash, I think this figure could look so much better. So what I'll do is I will do a customization video for you all, because this is going to be one of my next projects where I just customize this and try to make it look, you know, quite a bit better. So yeah, so that'll be the goal. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I think we just passed 1,000 subscribers a few weeks back, so thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Next goal is to try to get to 2,000, and I'm going to keep bringing reviews, customizations, unboxings, etc. for you all. So thank you all so much, and I will catch you next time.